god, that man is well below average.
Well, we are back again. Can't get rid of us. The Well Below Average podcast with Nick and Adam. I'm in my new digs. I'm in my wife's work area. She works at home now, repping one of our sponsors here, two of our sponsors. I'm Adam. Nick, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. I'm here and ready to go. Not a lot happening, which is a good thing, I guess.
Yeah, that's what my dad used to always tell me, like, no news is good news. When I was 20, it was like, oh, I want to be in the middle of everything. Now it's like, God, I wish things would stop happening. Just, I want to take a nap.
Yeah, right. Just slow down a little bit, but such is life, right?
Yes. Well, we have a special show today, and we'll get into we are going to rank the movie quarterbacks. I put together a list of movie quarterbacks, all the ones that I've heard of. Some Nick's never heard of, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's first give a shout out to our sponsors. I'll go first with Local Menace. Local Menace is a Dallas-based artist-owned streetwear brand. They're hell-bent on destroying your wardrobe. They have hats, t-shirts, stickers, and other dumb merchandise, and they are putting out cool stuff all the time. This is my favorite t-shirt right here from the Mars Attacks alien. I don't know his name. One of my favorite t-shirts. You can get 25% off your order if you use the code BEARDCREW at checkout. Use that, check it out, let them know that we sent you. They'll really appreciate it. We'll really appreciate it. And yeah, destroy your wardrobe at localmenace.com.
Let's shout out our other sponsor, Rodeo Coffee. They're based right here in Fort Worth. It's small batch roasted. I actually got a new bag today. I got a fresh bag of the Colombian blend. I like to describe it as an easy, that is just an easy drink. It's your morning coffee. You can have more than one cup of it. But they also just came out with, or just roasted, some Costa Rican. It's a brand new one, a little fancier. So if you like a little more complex coffee, that'll be the one for you. And actually, just heard from Rodeo Coffee, Adam. They were in Benbrook today at a little farmer's market just down the street from where we live, and heard that they're working on getting an actual coffee shop. They're looking for a spot, wanting to get something started. But in the meantime, you can check them out on Instagram, Facebook. Basically, every weekend they're somewhere on Saturday, somewhere on Sunday, to get some delicious, locally roasted coffee. And it is phenomenal. I should have brought the bag with me. I have a bag at home. It's not here. I'm not a professional, so I don't have anything with me. But Rodeo Coffee, find them on Instagram, find them on Facebook, and tell them you heard about them on our podcast. We'd really appreciate it. And one day I'll have a cup of coffee with me and product placement. But today is not that day.
You should be drinking coffee. Like, what are you drinking now? Like water?
Yeah, this is just straight water.
I forgot my water. I'm actually looking now, like my water cup. I didn't bring it in.
Stay hydrated, everybody. It's hot out there.
Yeah.
September 5th, and I guess today it's cloudy, but yesterday, September 4th, first day of college football, 99 degrees. So that was great.
So yeah, I do the pop-up circuit with my company, Ish Beard Works, for all your beard care and men's hygiene need. IshBeardWorks.com. And we were out at a pop-up, and it was miserable. We were out Friday night, and it was hot, but it wasn't bad. The breeze in Dallas. We're in Fort Worth, down up by the Trinity. Oh my God, it was brutal. No breeze, just straight heat.
So, have you heard of, this is not on the run sheet, we did not plan on talking about this. So, in typical Well Below Average form, hijacking the conversation with something that we didn't plan. But have you heard of this this program that this company in West Virginia is doing? They are paying people $10,000 to move to West Virginia. You have to apply, but it's like different towns, like Morgantown, for example, is one of them, where West Virginia University is. There's a couple of others, but the applications I think right now are closed, but they're opening them up again. I say all that to say this week I saw that, like, on the news or something, and I thought that's interesting. I want to look it up and see what it is. And I told my wife, and she was like, "Let's do it. It's $10,000. We could get $10,000 just to move to West Virginia." And I was like, "Okay." And she's like, "What's the weather like there?" I looked it up. On one day, the high was 75 and the low was 55. And I thought, that is perfect weather. Now, right now, I mean, it probably gets cold and all that stuff, but that's the kind of weather you should have in September. That's my biggest gripe with Texas. It's going to be like over 90 degrees for at least another 3 weeks, if not more. So we're in for it.
Yeah, it's getting not getting. It's always been hot here, but come to Texas, not for the weather, for the ability to carry guns in your hand walking down the street. But I'm gonna get political here. So let's get to it. Let's get to our list. No, I got a football gripe. Sorry, this was on our run sheet, and you're not gonna do Nick Hates It today. I don't believe so.
This can be Adam Hates It. We're calling it audible, to use a football term. Audible to Adam Hates It from the typical Nick Hates It.
Yes, so we can't go without some hate. And I've seen something on Twitter, and this is just a gripe. Is this idea is Cam Newton, former MVP of the NFL, quarterback, was cut from the New England Patriots a week and a half ago, final cuts. And Cowboy Twitter has blown up with this idea that Cam Newton needs to come to Dallas. Okay, I get it. We don't really have a proven backup. Okay. It would be nice to have an MVP as your backup. But I've posed the question several times to people, and I get various responses, is who's Tom Brady's backup? Name Patrick Mahomes' backup. Name Aaron Rodgers' backup. Well, that's a little easier. This is the first round draft pick. This is waiting there. Who is pick a guy. Mitch Trubisky is a backup in Buffalo. Well, he was a starter. Yeah, who's up in Seattle? Russell Wilson. Who's his backup? Who is Kirk Cousins' backup? It's like there seems to be this implication that if we don't have a former MVP as our backup quarterback, we are somehow at a disadvantage going into the season. And it's getting real annoying. Now, I could just turn off Twitter like a normal, mentally healthy person would do, but no. This is a Well Below Average podcast, and I'm half of the Well Below Average hosting. So I engage, and it's causing me a lot of stress and anxiety, but I just don't get it. I don't get why why there's such a group of these Cowboys fans that are like think the season's going to be lost without a good backup quarterback. We had Andy Dalton last year, who might be just as good as Cam Newton at this point in their career. We didn't win nothing last year. But
the devil's advocate would say that the offensive line was terrible and injured and didn't give them any opportunity. I'm not saying I agree with those people, but that's what they would say.
Yeah. And then, go on another other tale, the group of people that say Dalton was terrible, Anyway, yeah, but it's just it's frustrating to see all this. Of all the things to be mad about the Cowboys for, it's not bringing in Cam Newton is one that is like so low on my list. Like, they brought in Will Greer off the Jaguars. They got Jason Garrett's son. What's his name?
Cooper Rush.
Yeah. Those two are not any more experienced than Jared Goff's backup in Detroit, or Matt. What's his in LA? God, I'm terrible with names.
Matt Stafford.
Yeah, you look at some of these quarterbacks. It's most people are backed up by rookies or guys that are just guys. So calm down, Cowboy Twitter people.
And the breaking Cowboys news today, I don't know if you saw this before we got on, but Zach Martin has COVID. He will miss the opener against the Bucs on Thursday.
Yeah. I don't like that. We're the one place you don't want to have injuries or any issues is the offensive line because there's not a lot of depth still. Connor McGovern, I guess, would step in and he could be serviceable for a game. But that Bucs defense is very good. They exploited Kansas City's offensive line in the Super Bowl, and maybe they can do it to us too.
Well, we're 4 days away, so we'll see.
All right, 4 days away. Excited about it. Oh, so how are you solving your Locast problem? Or another Audible?
Oh gosh. So you've been hyping up Locast. So finally, I said, you know what? I'm just going to download it. Got the Fire Stick out, and this is our guest room. So that's where the Fire Stick was in here, or one of them, because my mother-in-law stayed here. So I came in here, got it all downloaded, tried it out, thought this is great. What a great option. Like 2 days later, I texted him like, I got an email from Locast saying that they're suspending their services immediately. Is this a real thing? And you said it was, like they lost a court case or something like that, and now they can't provide their service. So now the only local TV we get through YouTube TV, which is set up through my in-laws, and the location is Buffalo, New York. So that's the only local channels we get, which really limits the NFL watching ability that I will have. So I might have to go underground to some streaming sites that probably are not very encouraged by many to watch out-of-market games, because I'm not going to pay for Sunday ticket. It's like $200 for a season.
That's crazy. Yeah. So I acquired a. We don't get enough viewers. Maybe don't snitch on us, viewers. Don't snitch. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yeah, I acquired a password to get Fox app, the Fox Sports app, so I can watch Fox games. And Paramount Plus gives you NFL and Fox even on their cheapest plan. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. Like the Steelers almost always play on CBS because they're AFC. So I need to find somebody that can get me access to CBS streaming to try to watch the game. You would think, I guess they don't really have to, but the NFL, like the biggest brand in sports, would make it easier to watch out-of-market games, or at least a little more accessible. But if they're making the money they are, I guess they don't really care.
Yeah, we can talk offline. We can maybe work something out with the Paramount Plus.
But don't snitch on us, people that are watching. It will know who it was. But anyways, 4 days away. NFL season will be great. We picked last year who we thought would win the Super Bowl, and I think we were both way off. I don't know, maybe we should do that. Not today, but maybe we should do that again soon. See if we can redeem ourselves.
If you have the run sheet up, I didn't send myself a run sheet, but if you have the run sheet up, it's still at the bottom of the run sheet. I've never taken it off.
Oh yeah. That's I think I picked the Saints, so that wasn't great.
Saints and Chiefs, right?
I think I put the Ravens and the Saints, or maybe something like that. Either way, don't come to me for your picking advice. But you want to get to this bracket here. This is what we've been teasing. The movie. Now this is strictly movies, correct? Movie quarterbacks.
Strictly movies. Now, how do you want to do this? So there's several ways we could do it. We could do it as like how they were like. How good of a quarterback were they in the movie? How funny were they? How important was them being a quarterback? I mean, those are all things I think we should consider as we debate these.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just consider the whole thing. All of it goes into consideration, and who we think is the best.
So we've got 12 movie quarterbacks here. I put them in two groups of 6. Now, how do you want to do this? Debate, get one winner from each group, or go across, one by one? Like Flash Willie B.
Let's I guess you could type a new list if we go across, right? Like as we go, we can just do the winner. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So that would mean first up we have Flash Gordon versus Willie Beeman. Flash Gordon, quarterback from the New York Jets in the movie Flash Gordon, versus Willie Beeman, quarterback of some fictional league in any given Sunday. All right. What do you recall from?
I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm almost positive I haven't seen Flash Gordon. Actually, I know I haven't. I haven't even heard of it. And then any given Sunday, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. So I have very little input here. Willie Beeman is going to be the winner for me just because that's the only one that I've kind of heard of.
So here's my input here. Willie Beeman was a backup that took the starting job because of injury. All right. Flash Gordon was the savior of the universe. Rode a space surfboard. Been probably since I was like 7 since I've seen the movie. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know how we want to do this. You know, a backup quarterback that got his feelings hurt watching, what was that old show with Tom Arnold on Fox Sports Southwest? Oh, it was just like a debate show. Oh, the best damn sports show, period.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember that. I remember a scene from that movie. He was watching that, and he was like getting his feelings all hurt because they were talking bad about him. So, so you're voting Willie Beeman.
Yeah, that'll be my vote.
And I'll agree with you because Willie Beeman is the only one we see actually, I believe, playing football in any extent. So, so let's go Willie Beeman. You'll notice my spelling is terrible, so get over it. All right. Next, we have 2 comedy movies, more slapsticky type comedy movies, and Shane Falco from The Replacements and Doug Connolly of Leatherhead. Shane Falco is obviously Keanu Reeves, and Doug Connolly is George Clooney.
So, 2 of the bigger name actors on this list. I guess there's a couple other big names, but I'm a little biased here. The Replacements, I love that movie. And I think it's pretty high on my list of like football movies. Shane Falco really rallies the troops. I mean, hadn't played football in a while, just kind of gets pulled in there. Older guy, but a tough guy and a great leader. I'm leaning towards Shane Falco here, but if you've got a case for Connolly, I could be swayed.
Yeah, so Dodge Connolly, so Leatherheads, it's kind of not a lot of passing in that movie. The movie takes place in an era of forward pass was more of a new thing. So more of a running quarterback. Again, an older guy playing, in his 40s. So this is the thing, and I'm going to agree with you on Shane Falco because if you want to go with the movie, there was that big moment at the end. Like, I watched that movie and I get choked up. Like, I remember watching it, like, I think it came out like my senior year in high school. Like, that very end scene, like, it's the final play. Gene Hackman.
Yep.
And Shane Falco, I want the ball. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Connolly, George Clooney, he's big time, but Dodge Connolly, what did the quarterback really have to do back then? Not much. It wasn't the position that it is today, and I think because of that, maybe matched up against somebody else, he moves on, but I think Falco's the winner easily because of that.
Yeah. Now, Dodge Connolly was funnier than Shane Falco, but that's Shane Falco definitely wins that. Hold on, so we got to do this differently. Hold on. We got to create a new Falco. Hold on. Live editing. I love autocorrect. I would have spelled that wrong. All right, next thing we have Guy Grenoir from Waterboy. I don't know the actor's name. He's in all of Adam Sandler's movies. Versus another Keanu Reeves quarterback, Johnny Utah from Point Break.
So, for the sake of avoiding redundancy, like I immediately want to go to, how do you say the last name again? Grenoir?
Grenoir, yeah.
Grenoir? Yeah. I mean, that's my immediate reaction. Personally.
Yeah, to actually see him play football. Johnny Utah is just more, hey, he was a football player.
Right. So, not the same thing as Dodge Connolly, but similar vein, like, what did you really do when it comes to being a quarterback? And I think that's what hurts Johnny Utah, and for the fact that we don't want to have this be a Keanu Reeves bracket.
I mean, I'm fine with Keanu Reeves being in the bracket. One of my personal favorites. Yeah, don't sleep on the beach football scene from Point Break. All right, so going up against Guy Grenoir from Waterboy is two Pauls, the Battle of the Pauls. I may have got the year wrong on the longest yard one, but Paul Blake, played by Scott Bakula from Necessary Roughness, and then Paul Cruz, the Adam Sandler version from the either 2000-2001 Longest Yard remake.
So we talked about this before the show. I have never even heard or seen Necessary Roughness. You said it's similar, like a similar storyline of The Replacement. The Longest Yard, I've seen both of them. It's been since it came out that I've seen the remake. If I remember right, Adam Sandler, quite the leader, kind of rallied the troops, also had some big football moments. But I don't have a good reference point for an argument here, just because I don't know, half the bracket. So I'll let you sell me on Necessary Roughness and Paul Blake, if that's who it should be.
So Necessary Roughness, Paul Blake is going to be real similar to Shane Falco. It's going to have a lot of the same type of moment. It's even got the unique kicker aspect. How you got that one, drinking, smoking, gambling kicker in The Replacements.
Mm-hmm.
In Necessary Roughness, Kathy Ireland is their kicker. They bring in a female kicker. Scandalous. So, it's got a lot of similar bullet points. But Necessary Roughness takes place in Texas. Specifically, It's filmed in Denton, Texas. A lot of scenes take place in... Yes, so it's got a lot of local Texas ties, local Fort Worth, Dallas ties. I don't know, Paul Cruz, The Longest Yard remake was the first Adam Sandler movie I watched and didn't enjoy, because he wasn't Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison or Little Nicky or Big Daddy or name one of those slapstick characters. So that's probably more on me than on him, but I think we go with Paul Cruz, with Sandler's Paul Cruz, because we already have Paul Blake character and Shane Falco in the bracket.
Yeah, I think that's all I have to do here. Now the next, we got Paul Cruz again from the original 1970s Longest Yard, and I think this is an interesting one because Johnny Moxon of Varsity Blues, I think he's one of the top quarterbacks in this, because not only is a football player, but if I remember this movie right, a pretty smart guy, academically gifted, we could say. Yep.
So yeah, we got another Paul Cruz, a little bit different character, and I'm more familiar with this movie probably than the Adam Sandler one. Played by Burt Reynolds, who, is Burt Reynolds. Now, Burt Reynolds was a running back at Florida State back a million years ago. So, is a real legit football player. Varsity Blues, interesting tidbit. My high school principal was an extra in Varsity Blues.
Really?
Yes.
That movie was based in Texas.
It was based in Texas, and it was shot somewhere in South Texas, where he lived during the summer, where he went and hung out in the summer at my principal. But yeah, during the football scenes, he's in like all the football scenes. He panned to the fans, and he was telling us this guy they had like 50 people, and they just crowded them in different spots of the stands at the little high school they were shooting at, and would just camera them, and they would all cheer for nothing, and then okay, move over 7 feet, and they would sit there, and then they would cheer, and then move over, and so. If you watch that movie, all the fans in every football scene are the same people. They just like mix them up and move them down and around.
Man, I need to go back and look for that now that I know. But I think for me, I really don't know which way to go here. I think this is an interesting debate between the two of these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have the leader, the Paul Cruz. Similar character, leader. I feel like the Burt Reynolds rendition is a little more charismatic and less comedic. First, it's a little more dramatic movie. A little more of a charismatic leader. Inmates playing the guards. Johnny Moxon is kind of the reluctant leader. Gets thrown into the fire. An academic kid, he's playing football because he lives in Texas. He doesn't care about football, but now he's actually having to step up and lead people, which, you see a lot of character growth there. You see a lot of character growth in both. So I'm gonna let you choose this. What's the last one? What do you think?
Man, I think I'm gonna have to go Johnny Moxon here, slightly, for the sake of being somewhat modern, although that's a pretty old movie too.
Yes. Last round, or last pairing of the first round here, Joe Kingman of The Game Plan, and this is probably the biggest star, The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, character in The Game Plan. Now, I remember seeing this movie, but I just I cannot quite remember.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, he isn't it like some old girlfriend shows up with a 7-year-old, like, hey, it's
it's like his daughter. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking I remember that one. I think I watched that movie the first time I hung out with my now wife at her house for some reason.
That's a solid memory. He is a pretty big deal in that movie as far as quarterback, and maybe the most cult hero of all of these quarterbacks, going up against Uncle Rico, Napoleon Dynamite. You could say Uncle Rico, the most untapped potential of any quarterback on this list.
I mean, he could throw a quarterback over the mountains over there.
And they would have won state if Coach would have put him in the fourth quarter. We don't know what could have happened if he would have gotten that opportunity. I mean, would he have been the professional quarterback that some of these guys ended up being in certain situations? We don't know. So a lot of untapped potential with Uncle Rico.
So my thought is, I think we go with the Uncle Rico theme and continue to let him be the untapped potential.
I agree. I mean, Joe Kingman, was maybe against another quarterback on this list. He maybe wins, but it's hard for me to say that he's the clear winner. But I think Uncle Rico, he had to show us more to really be on this list. Moving on to round two, like maybe he wins against a Paul Cruz character. We don't know, but because of that, we have to go with Joe Kingman here. But I do love the Uncle Rico character, and he'll be missed. That's for sure.
Yes. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast, but when we had Tim Dillard on, I, knowing he loves that movie and following him on Twitter and stuff, I made a comment completely tongue-in-cheek, completely to be a joke, and I think he took it maybe a little seriously it was during the World Series last year, Dodgers and Tampa Bay Rays. that, and it was just kind of like, just a dumb question. So, Tim, if Coach would have put you in the ninth inning of the state championship, do you think it'd be you out there pitching Game 7 of the World Series? And and he got the reference. Then he went on this long thing about how his career, some people say it didn't go the way he planned, and but he's happy with it and he's comfortable. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, this was meant to be just purely a Napoleon Dynamite, Uncle Rico, ha 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 joke. And I was like, oh,
it didn't go that way.
No, I mean, he was really nice about it. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Okay. So, we're going to end up with 3 in round 3, so we're going to have a 3-way debate in our last round here. But, so, we're going to have Willie Beeman versus Shane Falco. And to me, this is a pretty easy layup win.
Yeah, I think Shane Falco's the easy. Moves on easily to round 3.
Shane Falco. You like my typing skills. All right. So round 2, I think, is a little more interesting. You have Guy Carbonneau versus Paul Cruz, Adam Sandler edition.
How much of an impact did the Waterboy quarterback really have? That's my question.
Well, Adam Sandler won both of these games, the big games in these movies, right?
Yeah.
So, Paul Cruz was kind of the focal point in The Longest Yard, while Guy Carbonneau was he finally slapped hands with Waterboy after scored the game winning.
I think for that reason, I mean, you got to go with Paul Cruz, a.k.a. Adam Sandler here. I think it's an easy choice. 2 easy choices in the first 2 here, and I think, pretty straightforward so far.
All right. Now, last one of the second round, Johnny Moxon versus Joe Kingman.
This is tough because when you get into the later rounds of debates like this, you've got to weigh. Do they actually like, is there the passion there? And you could argue Johnny Moxon's passion was artificial, was a little forced, but Joe Kingman was a little bit about the money, and he kind of became a softie once the little girl came around. So either way, I guess an argument can be made.
Yeah, well, Joe Kingman was a good quarterback, and he became a better person with the little girl, right? Johnny Moxon was the person who became a better quarterback thrust into his situation. So it's kind of maybe the opposite. Like, what are we debating here? The better quarterback?
That's true. I'm going to say better quarterback, and I'm only going to say this because he made it professionally, and that's Joe Kingman.
Joe Kingman. And I think, since we've advanced a rock character to the final round, Rock, throw us a retweet. Throw us a, retweet the show if you're listening. I know you're one of our listeners.
I'll take it.
All right. All right, now, because of the numbers, we end up with a 3-way championship battle royale, no holds barred, balls count anywhere match. Shane Falco, Paul Cruz, Joe Kingman. Unless you have another way to debate this.
I don't have another way. I will say, let me mention an honorable mention that wasn't on this list before we get to the winner. Somebody that I probably would have advanced pretty far if he maybe played as he got a little bit older. Junior Floyd from The Little Giants. If you ever seen The Little Giants, he did get hurt. He did get hurt. Didn't finish the game. Really only played Pee-wees, but had a major impact at a young age. Injury cut it short though. So sorry about that, Junior Floyd. I think for me, it's a clear winner here. And when I saw the list, I thought it from the beginning. I think Shane Falco, if I had to pick just one, if I had to vote, would be my winner of these top 3.
I think I would agree. I would kind of put Cruz over Kingman, but then yeah, when you Cruz was in prison. I'm gonna look at the character aspect. Kingman, was had to grow as a person. Shane Falco seemed like to be a good quarterback and a good guy throughout the whole movie. So, and he was funnier.
Yep.
Movie was funnier. The dance scene in the jail was pretty amazing. So, Shane Falco, Keanu Reeves is the winner of the well below average movie quarterback list of America 2021 season kickoff extravaganza.
And somewhat fitting, right? A replacement quarterback would say an average movie is the winner of the well below average quarterback debate. Kind of fitting for us.
Yes. It's a good list. I liked it. That was fun. I think next week we need to dive into our picks for the year. We got the Cowboys. Next week is the opening kickoff for the NFL. Are you excited?
Excited would be an understatement. I am beyond excited. I love NFL Sunday. It's my favorite time of the year, but especially week 1. I love it. It's like Christmas morning to me, so can't wait.
All right. Well, I'm excited too. I don't got much else. One of our friend of the show, Jesse Holly, had a documentary out. I don't know if you watched that at all.
No, it's on my list to watch, but I saw it on Twitter. Some people talking about it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Pretty good. I watched most of it. I had to go run some errands, but I left it on, so we got the view. So
do that with our podcast. Literally, just play it on a computer, phone, tablet. Do anything you want, and then come back and play it again. Like we don't care at all if you actually listen.
Break into your neighbor's house, play it on all their devices. I mean, no don't.
Just scream from the backyard to their home device, whatever they have, for them to play the podcast.
There you go. But yeah, check us out on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Overcast, other things.
But not Lowcast. Rest in peace.
No Lowcast, and that's all. Hopefully we get that support Lowcast. Let's write your congressman. I don't know. Judge. But thanks to our sponsors. They were Rodeo Coffee. I keep looking down at a blank piece of paper like it's going to give me notes. Rodeo Coffee and Local Menace-ish Beard Works. Do you have anything else for us?
No, I don't. I might go make a cup of Rodeo Coffee right now. It's only 3:00 and I am real tired. So I got about minimum 6 more hours to get through. So
yes,
I might go make some coffee now that we talk about it.
Well, enjoy your coffee, and until we see y'all next time, stay above average.
Oh my god, that man is well below average.